all just take a minute. Let's all just take a collective deep breath. Okay, that felt good. I have filmed this once already, but my microphone was running out and I didn't realise, so the audio was atrocious. So we're going to film it again and hope the audio isn't atrocious this time. If you haven't already, this is your reminder to get yourself a nice drink. Today is so hot. It is so hot outside. The heat is heating, and it's beautiful. It's lovely. I'm just adjusting. I feel like I should be napping right now. Hello, my lovelies. If you couldn't tell from the title, today's video is a book haul. Now, did we say that I was on a book buying ban? Possibly, but again, if you couldn't tell from the title, this is a birthday book haul. So the majority of these books were bought with a gift card of some kind. However, I have included some books in this book haul that I have accumulated over the last couple of months that haven't been included in reading vlog. In total, we have 16 books today. Yeah. The TBR cart is full. I physically cannot buy any more books. Like, once the TBR cart is full, that's it. That is it. And after this, she's full. I don't really know what else to say except for, let me show you the books I've recently bought. I feel like I'm missing one. She says, where is it? Oh, it's there. I was so confused then. I was like, no, I'm definitely 100% missing one. And I was correct. These first 6 books are books that I've accumulated over the last couple of months. These aren't part of the birthday book haul, but I still wanted to show them to you. These first, I guess, 3 books are definitely books that are a little bit outside of my comfort zone. They're part of genres that I don't usually read. I am a typical romantasy girl, fantasy, cozy fantasy, as you will come to discover. I do really want to broaden my genre taste, my genre palette, and I've kind of gone with books and authors that have been really highly rated, are really beloved, and hopefully will help me expand my horizons when it comes to the genres that I read. So, saying that, this first book I am very intimidated by, because even though I have heard phenomenal things about it, I have also heard that it is a tough read as well. And that is Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine by Gail Honeyman. Now, I don't really know the plot of this book. Even the back is really, really vague, but I have heard it just handle some triggering, difficult content. So it may be worth looking up trigger warnings before reading this book. I may do that myself before reading it, but I have only heard phenomenal things and I want to see what the hype is about, and I really want to try and step into more contemporary fiction. And this book was just calling out to me, and I thought, you know what? Let's just jump in and give it a go and see how we fare. I do like a good book that can make me cry. A book that makes me feel, those are the best kind of books to me. So hopefully this book will do just that to a non-jarring extent. Okay, so sticking with genres that I don't usually reach for, we then have The Locked Door by Freida McFadden. So Freida McFadden is a very, very renowned thriller writer. She blew up on TikTok. She blew up on BookTube. I believe The Housemaid, which is her best-selling book, they're turning it into a movie, I think. So she's very well known, but I personally have never read any of her stuff before, and I really wanted to pick something that spoke to me. Obviously, I could have gone with The Housemaid. I've heard mixed things about The Housemaid. I know some people love it, but some people didn't really get on with it. And when I read the back of this kind of jumped out at me. From what I can gather, we follow our main protagonist, Nora, who, when she was younger, her father was basically killing women in the basement of their house. And he is now serving prison time for his crime, and rightly so. But when Nora is older, and I want to say she's a nurse, but I could be wrong. But when she is older, there are women that start to kind of disappear and end up dead in the same way that her father was killing women when she was younger. And from what I'm gathering, I think it's meant to be like someone's trying to frame her. There's a lot of mysterious and intrigue around her as a character and her past. So yeah, it really, really jumped out at me. I'm very intrigued to see where it goes. It's not a big book, and I'm curious to see if I would enjoy Frida McFadden's writing style. And if so, then I can pick up some more of her stuff. The next book in this book haul is very, I guess, similar to the previous book, but that is How to Kill Your Family by Bella Mackie. Now, this, from what I can gather, is a dark comedy. I have had a couple of friends read it and they really, really enjoyed it. So I am intrigued and excited to pick this one up. I've only really read one other dark comedy, and that was Butcher and Blackbird. But that was also like a dark romance. But I am really intrigued by this. I have a good feeling. Meet Grace Bernard, daughter, sister, serial killer. Grace has lost everything and she will stop at nothing to get revenge. So yeah, I'm intrigued. Okay, these next three books are definitely more my speed, my style, my usual go-to kind of genres. I don't think I've included this book in a reading vlog. I'm kind of doubting that now, but I'm going to include it in here anyway, just in case. But the first book that I have to show you is Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young. I have never read a Hannah Bonham Young before, and this, I believe, one was her debut, but everybody also seems to love this book. If you're not the biggest fan of the unexpected pregnancy trope, then this is still a good book to reach for, even though it is revolved around that trope. And it has disability representation, which I think is brilliant. He has a prosthetic leg, and I also think she has a disability as well. But yeah, this is I believe, just a cozy, I say cozy, just a light, fluffy romance that, like I said, revolves around the unexpected pregnancy trope. I think they have a one night stand and she obviously ends up getting pregnant, and it's about their relationship navigating the pregnancy and becoming first time parents, etc. etc. It just seems like a cutesy little read. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Okay, so on a very similar vibe, the next book I have is Funny Story by Emily Henry. Now, I've only ever read one Emily Henry, and that was Book Lovers, and I did enjoy it. I think I gave it 3.5 stars. I kind of struggled to kind of get into the male main character because he has the same name as my brother, and I found that kind of icky. But I definitely saw potential to connect to her writing for me. I just feel like maybe Book Lovers wasn't the best place for me to start. And I know a lot of people love Funny Story. I know this is rated 5 stars for a lot of people. I can't actually remember what this one is about. Daphne always loved the way Peter told their story. That is until it became the prologue to his actual love story with his childhood bestie Petra, which is how Daphne ends up rooming with her total opposite and the only person who could possibly understand her predicament, Petra's ex, Miles. As expected, it's not a match made in heaven. That is until one night, while tossing back tequilas, they form a plan. And if it involves posting deliberately misleading photos of their adventures together, well, who could blame them? It's all just for show, of course. There's no way Daphne would start her new chapter by falling in love with her ex-fiance's new fiance's ex, right? Okay, that sounds like a lot of fun, actually. That sounds like a lot of fun and a bit more up my alley, to be fair, compared to Book Lovers. So I am really looking forward to checking this one out. This will probably be a summer read for sure. I mean, even just looking at the cover, that just screams summer. Oh, okay, I'm quite excited to read this one now. I think that was actually my first time reading the back of that book. I think I just picked it up just because. Okay, and then this next book I'm so excited about. I deliberately went on a hunt for this book in my spring bookish vlog, and I could not find it anywhere. And I was kind of getting to the point where I was like, I'm probably gonna have to order it online, which I didn't really want to do. I much prefer to go book shopping in person and support local bookshops. But there was nowhere that had this book until they did have the book. And I literally saw it on the bookshelf and I was like, you're coming home with me. That is 10,000 Stitches by Olivia Atwater. So this is the second book in the Regency fairy tale series. The first book is Half a Soul. I know a lot of people kind of read Half a Soul and leave it at that, which is totally fine. I believe these are interconnected standalone, so you don't have to read them in order necessarily. But I do believe this follows a character that we meet in Half a Soul. And if I am remembering correctly, that certain character made me giggle a lot. So I am so excited to read basically a whole book on him. I think it's going to be so much fun. Fairy tale Regency vibes, perfect for the springtime. I'm so excited to get to this. Oh, yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited and I am ready. Again, I'm just a cozy fantasy gal. I am a cozy fantasy gal. And I think the rest of this book haul is going to solidify that. However, I do want to start off with this birthday book haul section with the one book that I was actually bought for my birthday, Spring by Michael Morpurgo. This is his most recent release, I believe, and it is basically a memoir about his life living on his farm during the month of spring. I believe there's like poetry in here as well. I just think it's just a bit of a love letter to the season, and spring is my favourite season, not just because it's my birthday month, but just because I love everything that spring brings. New life, new colour, warmth. I just love spring so much. So I'm really looking forward to reading this and just seeing how he enjoys spring on his farm as well, in his own wonderful way. Okay, so let's start with these two, I think. Yeah, okay. So these next two books I got as part of the buy one get one half price deal in Waterstones. I don't think I've ever walked into Waterstones and not left with two books because of that buy one get one half price. It gets me every time, and it was my birthday. I had vouchers to spend. What do you expect from me? Thank you very much. Yeah. So the first book I instantly picked up and knew that I wanted was Hera by Jennifer Saint. Now, I have only read one other Jennifer Saint, which was Ariadne, but I do have Atalanta on my TBR cart that I bought very recently. And when I saw, I think it was Charlotte, she did a video and she got Hera, I saw it and I was like, I need that book in my life, like right now. So Jennifer Saint is kind of one of the renowned authors when it comes to Greek retellings from the female perspective. If you know anything about Greek history, Greek mythology, the females are shat on from a great, great height. And not just the humans, but the goddesses as well, to an extent. I do feel like Hera is one of those goddesses. She is very much painted as a villain in a lot of the retellings, and honestly, I think she's just misunderstood. At the end of the day, she is a gal who has a horrendously unfaithful husband. Yes, is that husband also her brother? Yeah, that's not, I don't exactly condone that part, but you know, the other bit, I can see why she gets angry sometimes. Yeah, I am so looking forward to reading this and reading some more about the goddess, the queen of all the gods and goddesses. Okay, and then the other book in the buy one get one half price deal that I got was Welcome to the Hyangdong Bookshop by Huang Bo Rom. I'm really sorry if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, but one of my reading goals for the year is to read some more translated fiction, and I really enjoy the gentle coziness that Japanese and Korean translated fiction has. Granted, I've never read a Korean translated fiction, even though I do have one on my TBR, and now I have another one. But I have dabbled in Japanese translated fiction, and they do give off very similar vibes. And I feel like I'm going to enjoy this one a lot. This gives just the most coziest, sweetest vibes I think I've ever had from a book. If I am remembering correctly, this is about a woman who leaves her like office corporate job in the city to open up a bookshop, and it basically revolves around the people she meets in this bookshop and the lives that they have and the relationships and friendships that they form together. I'm so excited. I think this is going to be such a wonderful kind of palette cleanser book between kind of bigger, denser books. And that is exactly the vibe I want it this spring. And I will be reading this spring because I'm sorry, that cover just screams spring to me. Look at that. It's beautiful. I love it. The next 5 books definitely have a running theme. Cozy fantasy. Yeah, cozy fantasy. I'm a cozy fantasy gal. I don't know what else I can say. And okay, the first 4 is definitely cozy. Well, the first 3 are definitely cozy fantasy. And then the next 2 are still fantasy, maybe just not as cozy, but they're definitely fantasy. Let me just show you. Yeah, the first one we have is Paladin's Grace by T. Kingfisher. Now, firstly, isn't the cover just gorgeous? That is initially what spoke to me, was this beautiful, stunning cover. And then I realised the author. Now, I have never read a T. Kingfisher before, but again, this is an author that is very pronounced in the cozy fantasy genre, in the fantasy genre in general, and I am ready to read some of her stuff. And when I read the back of this book, sold. I mean, I'm sorry, listen to this, right? Paladin's Grace is a darkly whimsical, cozy fantasy featuring sock-knitting paladins, badass perfumers, courtroom hijinks, and heart-racing romance from Nebula and 2-time Hugo Award-winning author T. Kingfisher. Yeah, that's right up my street. That's right up my alley, and I will be reading this instantly right now, please, and thank you. So the next cozy fantasy book that I have for you is The Baby Dragon Cafe by A.T. Kreshe. From the sounds of it, it's going to be exactly what it sounds like. It's going to be about baby dragons in a cafe with cozy romance. Are you kidding me? Yeah. So, from what I can gather, we have our main female protagonist, Saphira, who opens up a cafe that has baby dragons in it. But these baby dragons are kind of running amok, and she has to kind of tame them, and love that. And then the local heartthrob Aiden, who is a gardener, has a baby dragon of his own, and this baby dragon, from the sounds of it, is just setting fire to all of his plants, which I'm assuming that's what baby dragons do, right? That's their job. So there's kind of like a I help you, you help me scenario where Aiden's like, can you train my dragon and I'll pay you. Saphira's like, yeah, you'll pay me so then I can keep my cafe afloat because my cafe is struggling right now. And it's a grumpy sunshine. This just sounds adorable. Again, another perfect palette cleanser book. Cozy, fantasy, romance, baby dragons, grumpy sunshine. I don't think I need to say anything else, to be honest. Okay, so these next 3 books I deliberately got because 1, I haven't heard anything about them. I haven't seen them on BookTube or Bookstagram or anything like that. And I really want to try and read more books where I'm picking them up purely because they stand out to me. Don't get me wrong, buying hyped books is so much fun because there is such a community around them. But I also think it's really important to try and read books that call out to you whether you know anything about them or not. So that was my intention with these next 3 books. So this first book, firstly, the covers of these books, guys, are just incredible. So that was what originally drew me. It was the cover. So I should probably tell you what it's called. It's called A Letter to the Luminous Deep, and it's by Sylvie Catherall. I then read the back, and then I read like the first couple of pages, and this screams Emily Wilde. Like Emily Wilde, Encyclopedia of Fairies. This just sounds like, instead of it being fairies, it's sirens. I mean, hello. It literally says, A Letter to the Luminous Deep is a charming and cozy fantasy set in an underwater world with magical academia and a heartwarming pen pal romance. Did somebody say, sign me up? Yeah. Yeah. Sign me up straight away. Yeah. Thank you. And then the next book, I wouldn't class this as a cozy fantasy, but this is definitely a fantasy nonetheless. The cover, I mean, oh my gosh, it is gorgeous. So this is Fathom Folk by Eliza Chan. I think you can tell from the cover that this is South Asian, or is it Southeast Asian? Southeast Asian influenced fantasy, which is definitely something that I really want to explore more. I think I've only read one Southeast Asian kind of inspired book, and that was... I feel really bad because I can't remember the name of it. The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea. I think it's something like that. But ever since reading that, I've really wanted to read some more Southeast Asian inspired mythology fantasies. And I saw this cover and I just fell. I was on the floor and I was like, you're going straight in my basket. Yes, you are. Revolution is brewing in Tian Kawi. In this semi-flooded city, humans are, quite literally, on top, peering down from shining towers on the Fathom Folk who live in the polluted waters below. For half-siren Mira, promotion to captain of the border guard means an opportunity to help her downtrodden people. But everything Mira has worked towards is put in jeopardy when Nami, a know-it-all water dragon and Fathom Folk royalty, is exiled to the city. When extremists sabotage the annual boat race, violence ensues, as does a clampdown on Fathom Folk rights. Both Nami and Mira must decide if the cost of change is worth paying or if Tian Kawi should be left to drown. You know, this sounds like it could potentially be a romance, but there's also, I think, like political intrigue in here as well. I'm excited. And it's a duology, so it's not like it's going to be a big series. The second book is called Tideborn, and the cover of that looks gorgeous as well. Oh my gosh. Okay, like I said, this next book I picked up because of the cover, and then I read the back and I was sold. Dragon Rider by Taryn Matharu. Matharu, I believe. So again, firstly, the cover. Sometimes a simple cover just does it for me. It doesn't have to be all crazy, bold, colourful. Ignore the pile that's currently behind me. But sometimes, especially when it comes to more of like the epic fantasies, I do feel like less is more. And this really stood out to me on the table. So well done to whoever designed this, because you've done a great job. Jay has spent his life forced to serve the cruel empire that killed his family until the arrival of Princess Erica of the Dance Kingdom. She is to marry the prince and brings a priceless gift, dragons. But only Dansk royalty can bond with these magical beasts. When the betrothal ends in bloody chaos, Jay finally has a chance to escape, but first he steals a dragon egg. To seek his revenge and vanquish the empire, Jay must now do the impossible. Bond with a dragon. So ready. And there's a map. I didn't realise there was a map, but there is a map. We've got Northern Tundra, Yaltai Mountains. Taryn Matharu is a New York, so yeah. He was born in London in 1990, where he found a passion for books, writing his first novel at 9 years old. Go off. Taryn started writing Summoner at the age of 22 on Wattpad. Legend, with the story reaching over 3 million reads in less than 6 months. After being featured by NBC News, Taryn decided to launch his professional writing career with 10 books written to date. His Summoner series has become a worldwide phenomenon, selling millions of copies in more than 17 languages. The top 10 Sunday Times bestseller Dragon Rider is Taryn's first adult fantasy. Originated on Wattpad. Yes, I adore that. That makes me so happy. And yes, take my money. Take my money. These final two books are, again, they're books that are out of my comfort zone. So I'm just going to go straight into it. We've got My Dark Desire by L.J. Shen and Parker S. Huntington. Firstly, again, the cover is so beautiful. And I believe this is, again, one of those books that I think blew up on TikTok. I'm not on TikTok, so I'm not 100% sure, but I think it did. And I believe one of my friends has this book, but I don't know if she's read it or not. But every time I've walked to the bookshop, I've just been drawn to this book. And I thought, you know what, it's finally time to just get it. I don't really know what this book is about. All I know is that it's a dark romance because the beginning has a trigger warning. This is a dark romance and may contain triggering content. And then we've got our sounds, a soundtrack. From the looks of it, are all Asian. I definitely know that the author L.J. Shen is of Asian descent. Yeah, part Vietnamese and part Chinese. And from what she has written, she's kind of written a lot of her experiences growing up in that culture into this book. So that's going to be really interesting to read about. And then Parker S. Huntington, I don't think is Asian, but I could be wrong. I think I might be wrong. I think they both could be Asian actually. But I think maybe they're Asian American. I don't know. But all I know is that it's a dark romance following Asian American, I think, I was going to say royalty. It says on the back American royalty, but to me, you know, Americans don't have royalty, so I'm just assuming really, really rich Asian Americans. The final book in this book haul is probably the book I am most terrified of. Binding 13 by Chloe Walsh. I couldn't tell you why, but all I know is that one, this is probably one of the most beloved book series in the bookosphere at the minute. I have not heard a single bad thing about this book series, and I'm getting a little bit of FOMO. However, I am aware that it is extremely triggering. Like the trigger warning, the author note is a trigger warning. I am afraid, I am scared, but I'm also quite excited as well. I'm excited because, you know, it's set in, I think, was it Southern Ireland or Northern Ireland? Southern Ireland. It's set in 2005, so it's going to be tackling the kind of the noughties, I'm assuming quite damaging era and topics and themes that were around during that time. I am excited, but I'm so scared. And it's so big. Why is it so big? Those are all the books that I have for you today that I've recently purchased in the last couple of months and for my birthday. I am now on a book buying ban. I cannot buy any more books until this is cleared up. I can't do it. I need to stop. Somebody stop me. But if you have read any of the books that I shared in this video, please let me know in the comments below. Please let me know what you thought of them. I would love to hear your opinions. Yeah, I would say give me some book recommendations, but please don't. I don't need an excuse to buy any more books. I really don't. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a lovely rest of your day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!